solved. No retribution, no legal solution. You all scot-free. Watch me. Hop on a plane with Mr. Epstein. Now boarding the Lolita Express. Whoa, look over there, man. Is that Eminem and Stephen Colbert? And look, it's the two Bills, Clinton and Gates. Oh man, and they look like they're hitting on that girl that we met on the plane, the one that was with Ghislaine. I think her name was Courtney. Shit, she's only 14. We need to get the fuck up out of here. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me and never let you steal in me, I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. Now, let's say that you got a foundation, and almost all your donations, they're directed toward the containment of a particular contagion. And one of your experts, he's kind of grouchy, his name is Mr. Fauci. He comes up with an equation. Fear plus persuasion equals the creation of a frightened nation whose panic and lack of education and only wanting just some protection from this agent of infection, they head in your direction and they ask Mr. Bill for their injection. Wanting just protection from this agent of infection. Why don't you go get your shine box? Your direction. Go get your fucking shine box, Tony. Injection. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me and never left you stealing me, I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. Dear Bill, I wrote you, but I keep getting returned to sender. I've even tried your wife Melinda, but she's putting a block on my calls. There's a rumor she might have a cock and balls. I apologize for the cursing. I guess you two are never in the same room at the same time, so people think you might be the same person. But anyway, fuck it, man. What's been up? How's the vaccine biz? I know you wish that everybody was on board like Maxine is. Oh, guess what? My wife's pregnant again. You remember Myrtle? Yeah, I always seem to wind up with the skanks. And what's up with you having 3 kids? I thought Melinda was infertile and you were shooting blanks. And what's up with all these tanks? I see them being transported on a train. Is that for martial law? This shit's getting insane. You remember when I met you in New Delhi and you were complaining that it was really smelly? Well, I asked you if it was safe getting that polio vaccine and you said I was making a great decision. Yeah, well, my daughter's okay, but my son Micah, he lost his vision. Yeah, it's been some time and a lot of tears now. And Micah, he's been blind for years now. He's gotten pretty good at walking with a cane, though. Anyway, hit me up, yo. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me and never left you stealing me, I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? What's up, M? This is your quiet time? Wow. What a
This is to you to go to sleep.
yeah, listen to me and go to bed. That's not great. What's up, everybody in the chat? We have Irish USMC Vet in the chat. We have 762 in the chat. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, but if I haven't, welcome. I appreciate having you here. RG Homestead, how you doing, sir? Once again, telling everybody to hit the thumbs up. I appreciate that quite a bit. In fact, you know what? We're going to go ahead and... Oh, no, he's already a moderator. I was going to make you a moderator, but apparently I already did that. Let's see, Gabriel. What's up, Gabriel? How you doing? Operation Warp Speed, full ahead. Yeah. Gabriel, I'm going to make you a moderator. I might just hand them all out tonight. If you've been here for a while anyway. Yeah, I believe that's everybody. All right, cool. How y'all doing? Whoa, OMG is already out of the gate with $5 super chat. Well, actually, that's a sticker, right? Or something. Yes. Thank you very much for the support, sir. I really do appreciate that very much. Thank you. Let's see. Have I made you a moderator? I don't know. No, you are now. There you go. Everybody who's been here, you know, quite a few times is going to be a moderator tonight. I really do appreciate that. That really does help out the channel quite a bit. Because of you guys and because of the donations that you, OMG, have done and other people have done as well. Gabriel, I believe you've done some too. And I apologize for anybody who's here who has done one and I haven't remembered your name. But just so you know, it does go back into the channel. I was able to buy a chronograph. All right. Chronograph. I just got the Google money recently. And also, I got a couple projectiles for the channel and for my own personal self-defense, right? Lehigh Defense Maximum Expansion. So I'm hoping to put those together and maybe do a video on testing them out. Thank you very much for the support. Eastwind Hayriddle, okay. I did a rant on the school system over back to school system. In California, but it needs to be done. You did a video on it? So what do you guys think of the prices of precious metals right now? Yeah, definitely go check up on that. If I'm not I should be subscribed to them. Should be. If I'm not, I apologize, and I'll fix that. All right, so we are going to touch on precious metals a little bit later on. Not right now, though, because first and foremost, this is Friday, so welcome everybody to Friday. It's the weekend. All right, so we can go a little bit long if we really want, but we'll just hang out. So let's get on to the first story here. The judge rejects state of Oregon's request for temporary restraining order on federal agents. Trump is, what is he calling this? He's calling it Operation Legend, right? And Riddle, can you explain without reading his quote on that? Because that was long.
Basically, what's happened is that he feels like the governors of certain states have decided to back BLM and back these violent protesters, and he says that it needs to stop, and they're not doing anything to stop it, so he is injecting federal DHS officers and enforcement into Portland, Oregon, into Washington State, into Albuquerque, New Mexico, right, into Missouri, Minnesota, all the places where there's been violent protests.
Right. All right. So we also have HDP in the house. What's up, slackers? How you doing? Appreciate you checking us out. I did pick up some silver. I paid way too much for it, but technically I paid less than I would have paid anywhere else. So I'm hoping fingers crossed it goes up a little bit. 762 Wood app, some 411 on OKs, PBs, or Trez in Arizona. What?
Want some information on Oath Keeper?
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know what peanut butters or
personal best
or 3%ers in Arizona.
Well, 3%ers in Arizona, yeah. Some of the code's gonna go over my head. Some of it's not.
I don't know what the PBs are other than peanut butters.
All right, yeah,
I love
okay.
peanut butter.
All right, so let's read this. On Friday, the United States District Judge rejected the state of Oregon's request for a temporary restraining order to clamp down on federal agents in Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon is... Oh, my goodness. I thought Seattle was bad. Friggin' Portland, Oregon is saying, hold my beer. Judge Michael M. Mossman wrote, through its motion, Oregon seeks a temporary restraining order that would require defendants to identify themselves and their agency before detaining or arresting any person off the street in Oregon. Explain to any person being arrested or detained that he or she, I would imagine, is subject to arrest or detention, and explain the basis for the seizure and to refrain from arresting protesters without probable cause or warrant. Oof. Mossman explained, one of the most difficult tasks for law enforcement in a free country like ours is to support robust protests while still maintaining order through lawful methods. Peaceful protests are totally protected by the First Amendment. When you start burning shit down or rioting, that is not. This is even more challenging when the subject of the protest concerns police tactics. It is not unusual following major protests for some of the people involved to allege that police crossed a line, a constitutional line, in the course of their interactions. It's also common for these interactions to result in lawsuits, with protesters contending that the police violated their First and Fourth Amendment rights as seeking redress by money damages and injunction relief. There is a well-established body of law paving the way for such lawsuits to move forward in federal court. Well, I hope all their body cameras are working. Oathkeepers.org. Well, which oath are they keeping? That's always my question. Which oath? Lots of people take more than one oath. Why heck is Border Patrol arresting protesters in Portland? No, even 100 miles inland, which they can patrol. Is it border agents?
DHS.
Yeah, DHS.
Mm-hmm. That's who Trump sent. DHS, Department of Homeland Security.
Well, Department of Homeland Security is all over a lot of stuff, including, like, if the TSA were to catch an actual person trying to commit a terrorist act, yeah, I'm pretty sure DHS would get involved in that too, no matter where that is. Because Trump sent there as part of Operation Legend. Oh, hold up. Everything went dark on me for a second. Sorry. This is even more challenging when the subject of the protest... Oh, I already read that? Sorry. He stated this is not such a lawsuit. Mossman... exactly why that although it involves allegations of harm done to protesters by law enforcement, no protester is a plaintiff here, and it is not seeking redress for any harm that has been done to protesters. Instead, it seeks an injunction against future conduct, which is also an extraordinary form of relief. He noted that the second issue required a very particularized showing in order to have standing, but the state had not presented one. So there's a whole bunch of legal shit right there. All right. So following that, you can watch Portland protesters or rioters, peaceful protesting, light a courthouse on fire. Oh. Thank you very much, Gabriel. Thank you for the support, bro. Hope the garden doing well. Kinda, not really anymore. I mean, it's Phoenix, right? We're doing really well with the garden. Then all of a sudden, some of the cucumber plants looked a little, discolored. We find out that we have aphids everywhere. We spray for the aphids as much as we can, but I think they might be out of control at that point, right? So we did get 2 batches of cucumbers out of it before it kind of all died. Then our tomato plants just kept growing and growing and growing, and all of a sudden, we have this sunshade. Yeah, we have this sunshade over our garden because the heat and the sun beating down on our garden was killing everything. So we have this sunshade on there now, and that really helped. And our tomato plants have really taken off. They haven't produced any tomatoes, but they're humongous. They're at least 5 feet tall, right? And they were getting to the bottom of the sunshade or to the top of the sunshade. And all of a sudden I noticed there was no leaves on the top. I was like, well, what the hell is going on there? Is the sunshade rubbing on there and cutting the leaves off? And then later on, I was like, what the hell is that? And I looked and there's a big old grub. Well, technically a hornworm. I didn't know it at the time. And come to find out, we had a whole infestation of hornworms. So we got rid of those finally. But that's how the garden's doing. It could be better. Hopefully next year it will be better. Well, folks, don't get to hit the thumbs up. Thanks you, RG. Thank you. Nice. The shade close. The shade close works well in these peak heat months. Dude, it's so freaking hot here all the damn time. All right, so rioters in Portland barricaded Department of Homeland Security officers inside a federal courthouse and then attempted to light the building on fire, according to officials. Portland city officials and Democratic lawmakers have insisted that the protests happening in Portland are peaceful and there is no need for a federal law enforcement. But senior DHS officials said Thursday that the rioters continue to get more and more aggressive and that they would already have burnt down the courthouse if it weren't for the DHS officers inside. Last night's violence was even more aggressive than previous nights as rioters once again tried to set fire to the federal courthouse and actively tried to breach the entrance of the courthouse, the official said in an email statement. Rioters also employed tactics that forced federal officers to leave the Hatfield Federal Courthouse, setting them up to be attacked by laser beams and projectiles. More than 1,000 rioters gathered outside the Hatfield Federal Courthouse on Thursday night. Many attempted to block the entrance to the courthouse in order to force DHS forces from leaving the building, because they wanted them to burn up in the building, I guess. The officers that tried to escape were beamed in the eyes with lasers, which could cause permanent eye damage, according to officials. Rioters also set up barricades outside the courthouse entrance to trap the rest of the DHS officers inside, while others tried to break through the fencing and windows to set fires within the building. These people are bold. DHS officials on scene said shopping carts full of bricks and baseball bats were left outside of the building for protesters to use against law enforcement. With all the cameras that are in major cities, and Portland being a major city, I would imagine we can find out who left the baseball bats and the bricks. I would think so. At least 5 protesters were arrested Thursday night, according to DHS officials, and no DHS Federal Protective Service officer was injured after being struck by fireworks. Oh, and one DHS Federal Protective Service officer was injured after being struck by fireworks. Bottle rocket. See, not peaceful. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go ahead and watch it. Didn't you say that HDP had posted something on, what was it, Twitter?
Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter, with them attacking the building with like umbrellas or some shit.
They were holding umbrellas and trying to attack the building. It looked really bad.
We'll watch a little bit of this. Okay, so yeah, I see an umbrella there. Some guy's got a leaf blower. Oh, for the tear gas. Leaf blower is actually kind of a good idea. Although they're all wearing gas masks, so. Damn. Well, isn't that something? I don't know. What are your thoughts on DHS being there? Should it be a different organization? Should it be no organization? Should it be left up to the state? I'm kind of curious what you guys' opinion is on that. Because I'm mixed, right? I'm a little bit mixed. I'm glad it's not the Army or the National Guard, but at the same time, I think it should be up to the state. However, unfortunately, the state, for some reason, doesn't care. And should the state be forced to give a shit? Or if they don't really care, should they just let the whole place burn down? Because then it's really on them. That's a question I don't really know the answer how I feel on that. So I am curious on you guys. Are you for them going in there and forcing a state to have law and order? Or should it be left up to the state? Yeah, I don't know. So the Philly district attorney warns federal officers could be arrested if they storm Pennsylvania protests. So we see what's going on in Portland, and now they're trying to do it in Pennsylvania, but apparently the district attorney is threatening to arrest them. Let's see. Coming for you, troll. I think that's the first time I've seen you in here. Welcome. Golly, Batman, they must have let the penguin out. What, the umbrella?
Umbrellas.
DHS is Trump's personal police force. Yeah. I think there's something in play there why he's using them and not like the military or the National Guard. It must be like some kind of political move. Like he thinks he can get away with that versus, the actual service members. Should be U.S. Marines. Yeah, I know a few Marines that would be willing to kick some, knock some heads together. The district attorney in Philadelphia is warning officials that they could face arrest if they bring their tactics of abuse of power to his city. District Attorney Larry Krasner accused Trump of acting like an authoritarian dictator. He said on an appearance on MSNBC, The Readout, Thursday, and cautioned him not to send federal agents to his city. The stern words come as agents from the Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection, Federal Protective Services, and the U.S. Marshal Service were deployed to Portland, Oregon, and Washington, D.C. to quell pockets of violence stemming from otherwise peaceful demonstrations denouncing police brutality and racial inequality. Trump said that the agents are there with the purpose of protecting federal buildings and property from destruction as protesters continue to light fires and vandalize many I know that word too. Edifices. There we go. And different cities. However, reports of excessive force by federal officers on protesters and agents who failed to properly identify themselves during demonstration. I mean, they have like full-on body armor on. Or give adequate reason for sweeping arrest have pushed the Justice Department to open an investigation into the officers' conduct. Krasner said extra strong-arming isn't needed in Philadelphia. While the city of Philadelphia has not received any formal notification that federal agents will be sent here, we would use all available means to resist such an abuse of power, the district attorney said in a tweet on Monday. So, did they say that? I don't see anywhere in here where it says Trump is sending them. Is this just him like coming out, well, if he does send them here, I'm going to arrest him?
Well, in that big long thing I was reading you earlier, Trump had a list of all the places he was going to send them.
All right.
He hasn't sent them there yet, apparently, but he's gonna.
Who's going to administer the vaccine in the fall? Trump already said the military would. Really? I know he's definitely for forced vaccinations. You got to get your shot. You got to get vaccinated. Yeah, and we read a story just last night where Gates is saying, well, you're going to have to get multiple shots. I have a feeling it's going to be kind of like the flu shot, but instead of one shot a year, you're going to have to get like 3 or 4. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. All right, this was a story shared with me by a friend. Armed NFAC black militia at Stone Mountain. So NFAC is not fucking around clan or correlation or whatever, right? You've probably seen photos of the militia unit at Stone Mountain, Georgia this Independence Day weekend, but why were they there and what does it signify? This is a little bit old. This is July 6th. But I did want to read some of this. Photos and videos of a large group of armed black militia all clad in black and wearing field gear. In fact, I remember we talked about the story. People were like, you got to look it up more. All right, well, here we are looking it up again. Spread quickly across social media, armed with a wide variety of AK, AR-15s, AR-15 pistols, shotguns, 22 rimfires. They held a rally while their leader, the Rio Grande Master J, it should be Master J, gave a call to action. He preached black power and action rather than words while degrading whites and challenged white militias and the 3% movement, saying, "Here we are in your house, and where are you?" They're at home, washing their tights. As they marched off, passing motorists asked who they were. The Rio Grande Master J replied, "We are not Black Lives Matter. They were Black Militia and the NFAC, not fucking around clan, and his worst nightmare, and demanded reparations for what his ancestors had done to black people." So did they force him to pay? I don't know. We'll find out. So what does this all mean? The number of important things to be learned. The first is the Rio Grande Master J is able to get people to listen to his message, and more importantly, to get activity, and more importantly, to actively get out and follow him. So not only does he have followers, but they're willing to go out there and on the street. This is especially noteworthy. He and those with him was able to assemble members from 5 different African American gun clubs and unite them to make a show of force. Armed and clad in similar black uniforms, some with body armor, plate carriers, tack vests, spare mag carriers, they appeared organized and put on a good show for social media. I've been saying for a long time, we are just waiting for leaders to emerge on both sides of the political spectrum. You got to keep on waiting if you want one on our side. Not the typical politician charlatan on television. No one really cares about that, but real leaders at the grassroots levels who, through their spoken word, can successfully exhort common people to band together and follow them. When this happens, massive changes can happen in a very short time frame. Yep. What are some of the implications from this rally? It's further proof that the ongoing problems currently affecting the Republic, along with the C-19 pandemic riots, cities in turmoil, rise of open Marxists and communists pushing for revolution, anarchists, and the Black Lives Matter movement. All sides, absolutely every single side, every group is coming all at the same time. This is go, right? Where is the other side? They're overwhelmed, I guess. We can now add militant black militia members to the mix. June 2020 saw the highest number of gun sales on record in the country. Many were first-time gun owners. It is obvious that both sides of the political spectrum are arming. I don't know. I think we already have a lot of our arms. It's coming. If a group this large and well-armed want to, they could be a serious threat locally. Consider law enforcement in the United States has never had to face even a squad-sized threat of well-armed, equipped, trained, and organized militia actively maneuvering on them. The short-term results would not be in local police favor. An organization this large of true believers, if trained, equipped with communications and vehicles, could cause serious problems if they so choose. At this event, they were basically peaceful, with only some intimidation and demands for reparations. They were exercising their First and Second Amendment rights. Those rights are for all Americans. And that right there is where I stand. I don't agree with their cause, but I do think that they were there peacefully. They have every right to list their grievances. If they force somebody to pay them reparations and beat them down if they don't, that's not good, and I don't support that. But if they're just yelling at the person, you need to give us reparations, and they don't force him or beat him up because he doesn't, then that's freedom of speech, right? They have every right to their freedom of speech, peacefully assemble with firearms. We do it all the time. All right. I agree, Gable. It's all like boiling a frog. I think all this is going to tie in with the new federal ID 2020, which I believe starts in October. Yeah. Arizona, supposedly you don't have to get it, but you can't, travel domestically. on a plane. I wasn't planning on it anyway. M says, will do. Okay. Right now, China's people have tracking apps on their phones that allow them to go places. If they don't have the correct rating or don't bring their phone, they can't go anywhere or do anything. And yes, China is open for business. Looks like it's back to normal, but they all had to download this app or whatever, this tracking stuff. So they've lost even more of whatever free travel they had before. Digital ID tied to eliminating voter fraud wanted by both sides. Well, Democrats like voter fraud, but yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. China's health code, and we need to be watching what they're doing in China because the U.S. seems to be following their lead a lot. Yeah. Kill Whitey. There you go, bro. Comment of the night. So some local news here in Arizona. I know I got a few Arizonas in here. Gabriel's one. We got Mr. R.G. Homestead. Yep. I couldn't remember the first two letters. Overnight fire at an Arizona Democratic Party headquarters set on purpose. Ooh, arson. You know what's really amazing here with this is nobody was in the building. A fire ignited at the Arizona Democratic Party headquarters early Friday morning, and investigators are treating it as an arson investigation. When Phoenix Fire arrived at the Central Avenue and Thomas Road building, they found heavy smoke coming from the structure. Firefighters quickly entered the building to look for anyone who might be inside and to put out the fire. According to Phoenix Fire, ladder crews were sent to the roof to cut ventilation to help control the fire. Firefighters were able to successfully put out the fire. Nobody got hurt, but the blaze destroyed the part of the building housing the county Democratic offices, including computers, tablets, phone banking equipment, campaign literature, and years of candidate and organization information. You mean all their files that, I'm kind of curious, was there something in those files that they needed to get rid of? Mm-hmm. This smells like they hired Jesse Smollett. Maybe Bubba Wallace came by. It also destroyed political memorabilia accumulated over decades, including campaign materials for John F. Kennedy. The Democratic Party in Arizona is pretty small. We're a small group family. I'm not even going to say that name. Everything has come out of that building. Everything has come out of that building. Elected officials, all meetings, everything goes through that office. At some point, every Democrat has been through that building. It's gone. It didn't sound like it was gone. Just the stuff inside, all the records. State Democratic chair. Hold on. We want to know why this happened, and is it something that's simply going to empower us to work harder and keep our eyes on the prize? Yeah. This smells like Jesse Smollett all over the place. I'm so white I am see-through. Well, that's pretty white. Real girl, it starts out with the phones. People will get used to it, but by this time next year, things will be heckin' different, huh? Okay. Yep. Crazy. That's a crazy story. I'm kind of curious if that's going on anywhere else as well.
Probably. They just haven't, made the major headlines. For some reason, Phoenix has made the national news.
Well, we're purple. We used to be red, right? And now, we had Napolitano, not the judge Napolitano, but we had Janet Napolitano as the governor here before I came back to Arizona. So it's not my fault, right? And oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it when I found out that we had her as a governor in Arizona. I was appalled, right? But sure enough, Arizona is not as red as you'd think it is. Yeah, we have constitutional carry. You can carry however you want without a permit. That's great. But that's not enough to make a state free. So, yeah, I don't know. This whole mask mandate, Arizona is one of the only red states or conservative states that are mandating wearing masks. Most other conservative states are not. Texas also, I believe, is also another purple state, not really red. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Isn't that a song?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was. So the Supreme Court denies Nevada's church appeal of attendance restrictions amid the C-19 pandemic. In Nevada, it seems it's better to be in entertainment than religion, Justice Gorsuch says. Well, maybe you should bring entertainment into your religion. And I mean, I'm surprised. I'm sure there's got to be a church in Vegas that's all about with showgirls and all that stuff. I mean, totally blasphemous, but still, you would imagine. The Supreme Court on Friday denied an appeal by a Nevada church to allow additional worshipers to join in-person services based on capacity amid the C-19 pandemic. Nevada has placed a 50-person cap on all places of worship, no matter the capacity of the building, as part of the state's C-19 restrictions. But casinos, along with other businesses such as restaurants and movie theaters, may permit up to 50% capacity, allowing casinos to grant access to hundreds of patrons at a time. Wow. Justice Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and Brett Kavanaugh all issued dissenting opinions rejecting the constitutionality of the decision. This is a simple case. Under the government's edict of 10-screen multiplex may host 500 moviegoers at any time, Justice Gorsuch wrote on Friday. In Nevada, it seems it's better to be in entertainment than religion. Maybe that is nothing new, but the First Amendment prohibits such obvious discrimination against the exercise of religion, he added. Don't we have a conservative majority in the Supreme Court? Why did this not pass? Kind of curious of which conservative judge went the other way. Nevada lawmakers have urged the Supreme Court to reject the appeal, arguing that the claims of religious discrimination were false and unverified. Wow. First Amendment. You don't have the freedom to gather. Right? You can't gather. Not in church. Freedom of religion? Nope. Not if you want to go to a church and you're number 51 through the door. How many constitutional rights are being tossed out? Sickening. He said places of worship can permit as many followers as they like for outdoor services, and that law enforcement did not have the resources to enforce the 50% capacity regulations, whereas casinos are beholden to the Nevada Gaming Control Board, which has enforced additional employees' training on health requirements. So yes, I would imagine if you held a church service and you just filled the rafters, most likely you'd be fine. You might get on the news and they might fine you or try to take away your tax exempt status, right? But I don't know. They're not going to do that though, because, you know, we're Christians. We do the right thing. But you're also Americans who have constitutional rights to freedom of worship. So it's one of those, it's kind of like the Oath Keepers. Which oath are you going to keep? You going to keep the law of the state, or are you going to keep the law of the Lord? I'll tell you one I would keep. The judgment that I fear more than the state. This theory makes me so angry, Riddle Girl says. Isn't it interesting how a little virus that's so more deadly than the flu can take so much from us as people? It's fear. Fear will make people do crazy, stupid things. It's a test to see how far they can push the people. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And so does Gabriel. So there you go. I want to point out this. This is funny. This was almost a thumbnail, except for it wasn't 16:9. This is a mask. This is a chin guard. Nobody told you to wear a chin guard. Wear a mask. I thought that was funny. How many times have you seen officials miss wearing their mask? Most likely, this guy doesn't even wear his mask when the cameras aren't on. But in New York, he's saying that chicken wings don't count as food under the bar reopening rules. So they're allowing bars to reopen, but only if they're serving you food, and chicken wings and peanuts don't count. OMG, my church stayed open and we would have never let the police arrest the pastor. Holy shit. Tell me more. Tell me more about your church. Where is it? What denomination? How do I join? Yeah. So my church that I've grown up in my whole life, and that's the Seventh-day Adventists, right? If you're wondering. They've been preaching my whole life about how the government is going to restrict freedom of worship and we have to be ready and we have to go against it. And, because it's like when Daniel was supposed to not be praying, but he was praying anyway, and he didn't do it in secret. He did it right there out in the open so that, he'd be thrown into the lion's den, right? Because you don't hide. That's what they've been preaching. When the government comes, we don't hide. We stand up. We're just like Daniel, and we keep on going. As soon, they didn't even, I don't even think they waited for the government to say you had to shut down. They were like, yeah, we're shutting down. And it so pissed me off.
And now they've reopened, but they're like, oh, well, no congregational singing and no shaking hands and no hugging, and we have the pews roped off so that you can, social distance.
I am very upset by that. There's a lot of things that I agree with the SDA. I mean, I grew up SDA, and I looked around at other religions, and I lean more towards their beliefs than anybody else. But that pisses me off. And I don't think it matters what religion you are. And it doesn't matter what day you go to church. Going to church is for fellowship. I do believe that you're supposed to keep the Sabbath holy. That's, the Seventh-day Adventist part of me. So if I went to church on Sunday, I would still keep Sabbath holy. And I'd be fine, in my opinion. Let's see. OMG, my church we read that? Half the congregation is packing. Once again, what denomination, where is it, and how do I join? I always packed at church. Every damn time. I remember one night, we were there for like a prayer meeting I think it was for a play that my daughter was in. And all of a sudden the pastor had gotten a call that somebody had somebody trying to break into their house. And so the pastor, wants to, drive over there and help the situation. And he's asking for anybody to come along. I was like, I'm coming along. He's like, all right. And so it was just me and him, and he's speeding like hell. And he's like, man, I really wish I had a gun right now. I'm like, I got one. He's like, what? You got one? Hell yeah, I do. I always got one. Oh, he was surprised. And he's like, well, what is, he's got like a billion questions. What is it? What caliber? Yada, yada, He doesn't know very much about guns or anything. He just knows that police officers use Glocks. And I carry a Glock 30, which is a 45. So I told him, well, it's a Glock and it's a 45 ACP. He's like, you're concealing a 45? I'm like, yeah. So he's like, can I see it? What? I mean, I guess. Shit. All right. Just wear the fancy gun. Oh, dude, my 1911. That's my fancy gun. That's the one I'm going to wear to church from now on with a shoulder holster. OMG. Christian. Can you give me a website? You got a wrench, bro. Stop blue balling me here a little bit, bro. All right, let's get to some financial news. I told you we were going to talk about gold and silver, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Let's, I believe gold closed. Let me open it up. Gold closed at $19.02, so $1,902 an ounce for gold, and silver closed at $22.81. Forbes warning of a Category 5 economic hurricane as gold nears record. There's no doubt about it now. We're in an explosive period for precious metals, so let's get right to this week's price action. Gold prices surged to $1,900 an ounce on Thursday before finishing the day slightly before that key level. As of this Friday, gold is back above that mark and currently checks in at $1,910, up 5.1% for the week. Gold could hit a new record high as early as today now. However, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing if the market first pulled back a bit and established a base for its launch to 2000 and above. I do watch some stacking channels, and some of them, not all of them, do think that we're going to have a little bit of a step back and then it's going to surge forward. Negative divergence took place yesterday in the gold mining stocks, which fell a couple percent as a group. That may suggest some corrective action ahead in the gold market, but on a long-term basis, neither the miners nor gold itself appear to be anywhere near major bull market tops, because people know what's coming. If you look at our economy and you know about the socialism checks that Trump is sending out, you can't just keep printing all that money and not expect something to happen. So a lot of people are seeing this.
It feels like they're counterfeiting money, is what it feels like.
Well, they do. The government can counterfeit. Well, the Fed can counterfeit as much money as they want because they're the only ones that can legally do it. As long as the U.S. Congress and Federal Reserve keep pumping stimulus dollars into a moribund economy, upward pressure on gold will likely persist. Another stimulus package is coming with $1,200 checks for most Americans and hundreds of billions of dollars for various other programs. It will all be financed with more debt and ultimately with fiat currency created out of thin air. I hope you do something good with your fiat. I'll be buying gold and silver with mine and then putting it towards a down payment of land, hopefully. Successful American capitalist and past Money Metals podcast guest Stephen Forbes warned on Thursday that gold may be anticipating a Category 5 economic hurricane ahead. And this is a video of him talking. Once gold hits 2,000, the party starts. Journey Christian in New Kent, Virginia.
I found the website.
All right, cool. Find out if they have any affiliates. Thank you. Thank you very much, OMG.
Looks like they just have 2 locations.
Well, I mean, there's a reason to move to Virginia. Although y'all went blue. Hopefully you correct that the next election cycle.
There's a taxidermied bear in the lawn.
And giant tuns. I'm sure that's a typo. All right, so we're going to watch a little bit of this. It's 3 minutes. I doubt we'll watch it all. Maybe
the price of gold is moving up. Should you be worried? I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where we give you the insights you need to navigate an ever more turbulent world. When gold moves up, smart investors pay attention. The yellow metal today is up about 60% where it was 2 years ago. It has jumped smartly in
60% from 2 years ago. Yeah, I believe 2 years ago, wasn't it right around anywhere between $1,200 and $1,300? That's crazy. Can you imagine being in on gold 2 years ago? I really wish I had been.
recent days. The surge is a warning. The Federal Reserve, America's central bank, is starting to create too much money, and if this continues, we'll face a serious financial and economic crisis perhaps as soon as next year. But the timing is the tricky part. For example, in the early 2000s, gold jumped from $300 an ounce to over $1,000 several years later. But during this years-long move upward, stocks in the economy seem to be doing well, even though there was a red-hot, unsustainable housing market. Then suddenly the stock market cracked, the housing bubble burst, and we're in the Great Recession, with unemployment surging upwards. Every major economic disaster since World War II has been preceded by big changes in the price of gold, usually upward, except for the 2000-2001 recession, when the yellow metal had fallen by a good 1/3 in the 4 years preceding that crisis.
So he made a good point here. You remember, I remember back in the 90s, late 90s, I was in a coin shop or some shop that had gold. He had an ounce of gold. He let me hold the ounce of gold. And I remember him telling me the price. It was like $300, $400. I was like, ooh, that's a lot of money. You know, I remember that to this day. And then, yeah, what did he say, 2011, I guess, or was it 2008? I apologize. I think it might have been 2008 with the housing crisis, he said. That's when it really went up, right? All of a sudden it was $1,200. It's gone up to over $1,900 before as well. But Yeah, let's see. My family is Baptist. All right, cool. We Seventh-day Adventists are also Baptist, kind of. We believe in submersion. I guess the closest Baptist would be Seventh-day Baptist, which I know that's a thing. Or Messianic Jews that believe in Jesus. Once gold hits 2,000, the party starts. Gold goes up in war? Question mark. Gold goes up in uncertainty, and we have a lot of that going on in the economy with printing all this money. There's okay, I read that. And 51 gold to silver ratio is reasonable, said HDP. $50 silver is a given, so gold will be north of 2,500 soon. Well, I hope so, because I just put a ton of money into silver, hoping that it'll go up. And it might go down a little bit, but yeah, I discussed this with HDP on one of his videos on his channel about should I short-term invest in silver. I decided to put some of it in. I put 1/10 of our down payment in, and every week that I add to our down payment, I'm going to look at what the metals are doing and decide if that paycheck's savings into our down payment will go into metals or not as well. Right now, I got Silver Eagles for $27.50 each. And I know that if I really wanted to, I could sell them for $30 each. That's not much profit right now, but if silver keeps going up even a couple dollars, I'll be in the profit on that. And for me, that's better than just holding on to cash, which is obviously losing its value as it just sits there. Gabriel, FOMO is definitely in full effect right now. And Quantum Lotus, hello everyone. Hey, Quantum Lotus, how you doing this evening? Welcome to Friday and the weekend. What you gonna do with your stimulus check? You getting a stimulus check? You gonna do anything? I hope some people do some fun stuff. For us, it's all business. We're all trying to get this down payment for a house and get out of the city. I invested in bills. That's a good investment. That's a very good investment. We got rid of the truck payment the last check, and we got some credit cards paid off, which weren't a lot. It was like I think it was like $1,100 for both the truck and the credit card bills, but it was nice to get that off our back, for sure. Well, if it had been a big week for gold, it's been even a bigger week for silver. The white metal broke above $20 an ounce on Monday and spiked all the way up to $23 by Wednesday. Prices currently trade at $22.79 per ounce after gaining an extraordinary 16.7% over $3 an ounce this week alone. What's behind the huge move in silver price? Most likely it's affordable. It's still technically affordable more than gold. I have 0.6 of an ounce of gold, so a little bit more than half an ounce. And I got a great deal on it back in the day, but I don't know if I could get another deal. My guy didn't have any gold, which was very sad. For one thing, the round number breakout to multi-year highs induced a wave of short covering. Leveraged futures traders who had made bearish bets against silver were forced to cut their losses, buying back their short positions. Are those the ones that bet that silver is going to go down and then it goes up and then they get in trouble? Or not in trouble, but they lose money. The whole put it all on black. For another, demand for physical silver is set to rise at a time when mining supplies is constricted because of C-19. Silver is used in a wide range of high-tech and industrial applications. One of the fastest growing sources of silver demand is in solar panels and other so-called green technologies. The European Union Recovery Fund allocates a huge chunk of its spending to environmental initiatives and alternate energy development. The EU may issue green bonds to help boost investment in wind and solar farms and other projects. So there you go. There's some reasons why silver is worth something. Ooh. Hello. You can get a good premium price on eBay. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. I looked on eBay. If I sold an eagle there, it's probably right around $30, and I'll be all right with that. But I'm not doing it yet. We'll wait and we'll see. Buy guns. I got a lot of guns. What I don't have is the stuff to go with them as much. I mean, I got plenty of 9mm, and you can't find 9mm out there at all. What I really am lacking a little bit is 300 black, and I wanted self-defense subsonics, and unfortunately, even if there wasn't a pandemic going on, I wouldn't be able to get that because apparently there is very short supply on good ammunition choices for subsonic expanding bullets. I'd been looking into Lehigh Defense for a long time, and they used to make an actual cartridge, but they don't do that anymore. They just have the projectile, and I've seen people load them. I know the recipes. They're definitely the best, the most accurate, and also the best expanding subsonic self-defense 300 blackout rounds that are out there. So I'm reloading them. Other than that, though, I've got plenty of 9. I've got like an extra box of 45 for practice, but I've got plenty of self-defense ammo for 45, 9, and all the firearms. And there's really no other firearm I need. It's just I like or I want. And right now, getting land to where I can shoot those firearms on that land, yeah, that's what I really want to do. I had that in Ash Fork. I lived in Ash Fork, 9 months? It wasn't even a year? Oh, man. I thought it was at least a year. No, it was only 9 months. Absolutely loved it out there, man. As far as, being able to shoot on my own property. Getting out to the property, oh my goodness, that was the worst. As a big guy, I get jostled around really easily. Our cars aren't the greatest with shocks anyway. It's not like I'm driving a Ford Raptor, right? I got like these tin cans with shocks that are crap. Oh, and it was at least 5 miles off the pavement in order to get to our property. So it was not pleasant. That part wasn't pleasant. Everything else was pretty pleasant. Except for having to get water hauled in. I do not like that. Okay. I want to invest too. Investing, yeah, that'd be great. We have a little bit in the stock market, not much. And I'm pausing that right now just because the uncertainty. As far as other investments, I don't know. We were investing in real estate stocks that pay dividends. And then reinvesting those dividends. And we're still reinvesting the dividends. We're just not adding extra money to it. But far as an investment, silver and gold, I want it. Silver may be a little bit of an investment right now with the volatility, but you got to be careful. It's more of a hedge against inflation. You can get good premium price. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. And I have a source. I want land to shoot. Yeah. You have a source for silver and gold? I had land to shoot on, but I had to give it up for personal reasons that I won't go into. All right. So more Americans are worried that the political views could cost them their jobs. We had an article, I think it was yesterday or the day before, of, and I have it linked in the descriptions below to, what is it, unwoke.hr? Mm-hmm. Unwoke.hr. If you are in the market of getting a new job, or you're worried about your political stance costing you the job you have, sign up for unwoke.hr, link in the description below. They're looking to hire it's like Monster or the other
Career Builder or whatever.
Career Builder. Yeah, it's like those kind of sites. Right now it's free. Right now you can get in while it's free. I don't know if it'll always be free. They say it won't be always free. But I would definitely get into that now. And
so if you're looking for employees, it's free to post positions. And if you are an employee looking for a job, you can post your CV on there.
There you go. Oh, you have a source for ammo. Well, I reload. I have a Dillon XL650, so I can reload quite a bit. Primers and powder, I should have stocked up more. I do have plenty of small pistol primers because I reload 9mm. And I had just gotten into reloading 223-556. It was for a good friend of mine by the name of Kansas Hillbilly Prepper passed. And I was supposed to get some of his ashes. And I was going to put his ashes into some 223-556 rounds. And if you guys don't know this, we built, me and like 9 other of his friends, all came together, pitched in, and built him an AR-15. Right? We built him an AR-15. He never had one. He was pretty poor. And we'd have these chats, and we'd always like gun check, and we'd show off our guns back in the day when you could show them on live, right? And he never really had anything. I mean, eventually I think he had a 22 long rifle, but that was it. And he was always like, well, one day I want to get me an AR-15. And I was like, you know what? We should do that. And so I got 9 other people together. We all did that. If you haven't seen that video series and you're interested in it, it's called Stinger and Friends Punisher Rifle Project. There's a playlist on my channel. And throughout the whole thing, right, I did it as Stinger and Friends because he had chats called Kansas and Friends, right? So I was stealing it from him. And he's the nicest dude you've ever met. Absolutely never called me out on it. I would have probably called me out on it, but no, he didn't call me out on it, right? And every time I'd do a video, I'd be like, oh, what do you think I should do for this? Yada, yada, right? And so he would comment on it, and sure enough, I'd be like, oh, my friend, Irish USMC vet, recommended this one part for this rifle build, and so I'm going to take his idea, and I bought this, and meanwhile, I didn't buy that part. Irish had sent me that part, and I put it on this rifle. But in the video, I say that Irish recommended this part, and I bought this part, and because I wanted to make videos on it, and I wanted Kansas Hillbilly Prepper to watch, but I didn't want him to know it was his rifle, right? So we get all the way through the series. I even get it engraved with his YouTube logo, the whole bit, right? And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to come out and visit you on your birthday. So we go to Kansas, and we visit him, and we set up a birthday cake, and I put some Tannerite in it, right? I hand him this rifle, this Punisher rifle that he's seen on YouTube, right? It's got black duct tape over a certain part that's engraved, so you can't see what it is. And then he shoots the cake, and it blows up, and he's like, really excited because it blew up. And then I reveal to him that it's his rifle. It still brings, gets me all choked up. That was probably the best thing I've ever done on YouTube, for sure, and probably one of the better things that I've done in my life, to be honest. But, yeah, he passed a year or so ago, probably almost 2 years now. And I was supposed to get his ashes, and I was going to put him in projectile. I was going to put him into some 5.56, and I was going to shoot him out of his rifle, because I have his rifle now. Before he did pass, he was in the hospital, and he didn't trust his wife to not give that rifle to her son, and her son, not his son, but her son had already made some comments like he was just going to scratch off the engraving and then just claim the rifle as his. So he didn't want that to happen. I didn't want that to happen. So we arranged me to get the rifle while he was in the hospital, and then it was like a few months later after that he passed. So I have his rifle. But I thought it'd be really cool to have him in projectiles and then shoot him out of his own rifle. I thought that would have been cool. Everybody's quiet. What the hell?
It's kind of a somber thing you're talking about.
Sorry about that. So yeah, more Americans worried about political jobs. Those fears cross partisan lines. Majorities of Democrats, 52%, Independents, 59%, and Republicans, 77%, all agree that they have political opinions they are afraid to share. Strong liberals stand out, however, as the only political group who feel like they can express themselves. Nearly 6 in 10, 58% of staunch liberals feel they can say what they believe. However, centrist liberals feel differently. Yeah, because you'll be called all sorts of names if you're a central Democrat. A slim majority, 52%, of liberals feel that they have to self-censor, as do 64% of moderates and 77% of conservatives. Yeah, that's why I'm glad I'm not in that whole realm right now. And the last story that we're going to touch on is the GOP Representative Gohmert says it's time to cancel Democrats due to the racist past. If we're going to have cancel culture and you're going to tear down statues because they're racist, well, maybe we should look at the Democratic Party. Louis Gohmert, a Republican in Texas, introduced a House resolution on Thursday calling on lawmakers to ban organization or political groups historically associated with the Confederacy or slavery in the U.S., including the Democratic Party. A great portion of the history of the Democratic Party is filled with racism and hatred, Gohmert said in a statement. Since people are demanding we rid ourselves of entities, symbols, and reminders of the repugnant aspects of our past, then the time has come for Democrats to acknowledge their party's loathsome and bigoted past and consider changing their party name to something that isn't so blatantly and offensively tied to slavery, Jim Crow, discrimination, and the coup, the 3 Ks. He continued, I'm not going to say that. I'm already probably demonetized. The resolution co-sponsored by GOP reps Andy Biggs, Arizona, Jody Nice, Georgia, Randy Weber, Texas, and Andy Harris, Maryland, was introduced just one day after House voted to remove statues of historical figures who supported the Confederacy from Capitol building. The House failed to address the most ever-present historical stigma of the United States Capitol, Gohmert said on the House floor, which is the Democratic Party. Democrats feverishly supported, condoned, and fought for slavery, Gohmert said, and to avoid that fact is hypocrisy of the greatest kind, he added. Holy shit. Gohmert cited examples of racist policies within the Democratic Party history, including former President Woodrow Wilson's endorsement of racial discrimination. Unless Democrats want to be tied to the likes of Wilson and past racists, they should change the party's name. That's the standard to which they are holding everyone else, so the name change needs to occur, Gohmert said.
It just tickles me. Just tickles me. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of nuts. Oh, do not miss my previous job due to the PC requirements. Yeah, you're a little bit more free now, little girl. Not a lot, but a little bit. And Quantum Lotus, when they pull the race card. I'll have them ends voting Democrat for the rest of their lives. I believe that was a quote from Lyndon B. Johnson. Mm-hmm. And the whole world, or the whole country, started going to shit right when Lyndon B. Johnson became president, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a great historian. I do enjoy history, but, we got off the gold standard, actually, I think we got off the gold standard before that, but your silver notes and your silver coins all ended in 1964, the year that Lyndon B. Johnson took over. Would that have happened if Kennedy had stayed president, if he hadn't gotten shot and killed? That's when the Fed started printing money and not actually having it backed by anything real. Which is interesting. Gabriel, I saw a video today where somebody shows you all the Illuminati card game from 1995. Everything is happening just as planned. They have mask card, riot card, virus card act. It's kind of like a board game. That's funny. Yeah, Real Girl wants a link for that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah. Let's see, I saw a video today where somebody shows you the Illuminati card game from 1995. Wow. Yeah, look it up. Logic Before Authority channel. Good info. All right, we'll definitely look that up. Thank you for that. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for you guys. Have anything else late before we leave? I can't talk. Any stories that you're aware of? Em, you got any stories that you're aware of? How's that? Did you find anything out about the person kneeling on the baby? Or is there anything going on in Canada? And apparently somebody's texting me. I bet it's you know who. Let's see. Oh. 24 karat yellow 1 ounce gold bar, 1990. If you're watching, an ounce of gold for $1,990.14. If it's got free shipping, yeah, that's like at spot, bro. At spot. Oh yeah, the Illuminati card has a pizza card. Was it Rocket Pizza? Was that the name of the pizza joint in New York? Cosmic Pizza, that's it. Sorry. I don't really follow up a lot on that because it angers me a lot. So I just like, yeah, it's a pizza place there. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for you. Thank you very much for watching this week. I did want to ask you guys one more question. If you're still watching and you're willing to type something in chat, let me know. Do you prefer 9 p.m., 10 p.m., or it doesn't matter? So 1's for 9, 2's for 10, 3's I don't give a shit. I would really appreciate it if you could comment on what time that you like these chats at. Because for the most part, these chats have been about the same no matter what. Friday is always going to be a little bit busier because it's the weekend. Everybody's got the day off. But during the weekday, I really didn't see much difference between 9 and 10 o'clock. You know, so I don't know. Maybe it's just not that interesting. Real girl, yeah, there you go. Thank you. But if you haven't hit the thumbs up button already, you can do that if you like the video. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and hit the thumbs down. If you're not already subscribed, consider doing so. As we put out content pretty much every weekday night. And I'm going to try to start doing actual videos as well, because I have a few. Gabriel doesn't care. All right, cool. There's also links in the descriptions below. The first link is actually to unwoke.hr. So if you're looking for a job and you don't want to have to worry about your political beliefs, you know, and walking on eggshells, maybe that's a good way to do it. 10 p.m. for Joseph Cooper. Thanks for commenting, Joseph. It's the first time I think I've seen you on here. Or maybe you've been on here before. I don't know. Thank you. All right. 10 o'clock is winning. 10 o'clock's winning. Other links in the descriptions. One is to Adam Lawson's Blessed. It's the song that plays before I come on live. If you like that song, please go check out his channel. He's got some great content, and you won't regret it if you like that song. Also, there's a link down there for Irish USMC Vets GoFundMe page. He's trying to get a place together where veterans can come and learn a new skill, free room and board while they learn that skill working on the land, whether it be gardening or blacksmithing or gunsmithing. There's going to be all sorts of different programs. So that's a good one. ProjectRecover.org is an organization that goes out and looks for service members who were lost in battle and bringing their remains back to their family. So those are great organizations and charities. If you're looking to donate some money to something, those are the ones that I donate money to and that I recommend. And with that, that's all I got for you for this week. We will be back on Monday. And it looks like we'll be back on Monday at 10 p.m. Unless anybody else got some last voting to get in, right? So make sure you keep your family close. Watch out for the government and DHS because they might be coming to your state. Oh, and try to live as free as you possibly can in this tyrannical country. Remember, freedom is mostly up here. And freedom isn't free. So if you go, like, I drive around in the car without a seatbelt. Do I think seatbelts save lives? Yes, I do. Why do I not wear a seatbelt in a car? It's not because I'm overweight, because I can actually fit in a seatbelt. It's because it's my little sticking it to the man. I'm not going to because it doesn't affect anybody else. It only affects me. I've got insurance. Why the hell are you going to give me? And sometimes I get a ticket, right? And when I get a ticket, freedom ain't free. I got to pay for my freedom. But I tell that cop right then and there, I ain't going to click it. You can go ahead and write me that ticket. But as soon as you're done writing me that ticket, I'm still not clicking it, and I'm leaving. You know, freedom ain't free. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will check you out on Monday. Until then, stay safe and live free as possible. Peace.